An unsolved homicide involving a so-called killer clown may soon be put to rest, a resolution 3 decades in the making. Memorial Day weekend 1990, Marlene Warren was in her Aero Club community home with her adult son and some of his friends. They were eating breakfast when they noticed someone at their front door. Marlene answered it, revealing a person dressed as a clown holding 2 balloons and a basket of flowers. A witness who was present at the time recalled what happened next in a police interview, saying, Marlene made a remark like, oh, how nice, and everything. She was happy about it, and when she went to reach and grab for it, he just shot her in the mouth twice.
The witnesses at the scene said that the clown just turned around, walked back to the car, got into the white Chrysler LeBaron, and just drove away, very calmly.
Now you might be thinking the details in this case sound like something a certain horror novelist might have written, but we don't live in the Stephen King universe. Although the clown's identity remained a mystery, police gathered every piece of evidence they could to unmask the truth, including tracking down the killer's car.
This car may have been the getaway vehicle a gunman dressed as a clown used after murdering 40-year-old Marlene Warren on Saturday. Detectives found the car at this Royal Palm Beach shopping plaza, only 5 miles from where the shooting occurred.
Police were able to link the vehicle to a used car dealership owned by the victim's husband, Michael Warren. He became a suspect in the case, along with a woman who worked for him, Sheila Keene. At the time, the two were rumored to be having an affair, though investigators found nothing concrete that connected them to the murder, and that weighed on the prosecution team.
They knew that if they got it wrong, if they didn't have the best case possible, that a potential defendant could go free forever.
So the case went cold and remained unsolved for 27 years. In that time, Michael Warren went to prison for a few years for odometer tampering, grand theft, and racketeering, all related to his dealership business. As for his rumored mistress, Sheila Keene, well, they got married. Since 2002, the couple have lived a quiet life together. That is, until 2017, when newly tested DNA from the murder case led police to arrest Sheila Keene, now Sheila Warren.
We just needed a few of those little pieces of the puzzle, and we were able to do that with the new technologies in DNA.
Sometimes justice can be delayed, but justice eventually arrives.
That's the one thing I will tell you that she says. She vehemently denies any involvement.
Today, we filed a notice of intent to seek the death penalty in this case. We have the victims' thoughts and memories in mind.
In February 2020, prosecutors stated they would no longer seek the death penalty. Jury selection for Keene Warren's trial was originally scheduled for May 29th, but because of the coronavirus pandemic, all jury trials are currently suspended until further notice. To shed some more light on the details in this case, I spoke with investigative reporter Terry Parker.
For the first time ever, we saw crime scene photos from inside the Wellington home where Marlene Warren was killed. There were pictures of the car itself. And in that car, which was connected to Michael Warren's rental car business, they found orange fibers as though from the clown wig. They also found strands of long brown hair.
So they actually found evidence in the car that tied Sheila to the crime.
Yes, absolutely. In that Chrysler LeBaron, police found a receipt from Publix. And so they went there, and the clerk remembered Sheila Keene Warren, picked her out of a photo lineup. And they also said, well, somebody's wearing a clown costume. Let's go to the local costume shop. They go there. The woman said, oh, yeah, I remember her. She came in a real rush. She wanted the entire clown costume. Then they looked at the photo lineup and said, yeah, that's her.
Now, has there been any indication yet as to why the killer dressed as a clown?
Oddly enough, Sheila Keene Warren had gone to a party before dressed as a clown, and people said she liked clowns, but the most chilling information came from a lawyer who had had some dealings with Michael Warren, the victim's husband. And that lawyer remembered that he told Michael Warren once that the perfect way to get away with a murder would be to use a disguise, and particularly a clown disguise, because you have the painted face and the wig. He said if you wore that, you could definitely get away with murder.
Have investigators said whether they believe Michael Warren did have something to do with Marlene's death and if he might be charged as well? There seems to be a lot of speculation about his involvement.
They haven't ruled it out. They haven't said for sure. We've asked. And remember, he married the woman who was suspected of killing his wife. and had been having an affair with her. You know, it's interesting whether did they come up with it together, because remember that lawyer has come forward and said he's the one that said, hey, if you dress as a clown, you can get away with murder. But he said it to Michael Warren in an unrelated legal meeting. So that means, did Michael Warren tell his lover, hey, this is what we could do? So it'd be unclear whether they actually come up with enough evidence to eventually charge him. But I think right now, all focus is getting her convicted. And an interesting little thing I thought about this case is that Sheila Keene Warren painted a happy clown smile on her face. And then, oddly enough, in her mugshot, she has this bizarre, almost ear-to-ear grin as she's being arrested for murder. But when she made her first appearance in Palm Beach County Court, she wasn't smiling at all. And maybe the time behind bars has given her time to reflect and to wonder if allegedly donning a clown costume and shooting her rival was really worth it.
Now, perhaps more than ever, thanks to advances in DNA technology, decades-old cases like this one are being solved, and also simply because of unrelenting police work. What cold cases or forgotten crimes in your community do you hope get renewed attention or fresh leads? We're always looking for stories to highlight in new episodes, so share them with us in the comments. I'm Alexandra Stone, and this has been your Weekly Dispatch. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe and like this video for more dispatches from the middle.